It's the PokerNews Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 881st episode of the PokerNews Podcast. I am Chad Holloway, joined by Kyna England and Mike Holtz over at Level 9 Studio in Las Vegas. I am back in Wisconsin. What can I say? Mike picked the restaurant we went out to eat during the Global Poker Awards, and it was a shit show, so I just am like, let me get the fuck out of here.
No, that is what happened. Chad had to depart immediately. It is my bad. It's honestly poor memory on my fault. Lowry's Prime Rib in Vegas, supposed to be a good place, 4.7 stars. I've been there twice now. First time Thanksgiving, waited 2 hours later, wasn't great. Second time, with the crew, Poker News in the building, celebrities, they were shocked, so they were all nervous. Yeah, it didn't go great.
It was a fun dinner, but yeah, the food could have been better.
It started off decent. There were some soups that were good.
Yeah, that French onion soup was good. The drinks were good, but then after that, it was downhill. But that's all right. We had fun, as Kyna said, good company. And, at least none of us got kidnapped. That's my bad segue into our story that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So the article is poker player who alleged kidnapping now facing FBI fraud investigation. This is just a wild story that actually started about a year ago, a little over a year ago, when George Janssen, who is a well-known player in the Midwest, he played online, was known on WSOP.com in Michigan. He turned up on a side road. He was reported missing in November 2023, and he was found a month later on the side of the road. He had claimed he was held captive in a basement for 35 days and was being extorted by men for over 2 years, like a Mexican cartel, just this elaborate story that was more akin to, the movie Fargo than anything else. And it drew a lot more questions than answers. And a year later, the FBI comes and basically says, you know what? This isn't what really went down. This guy's in serious debt over his car dealerships. And it is alleged, or at least looks like, that maybe this was a whole concocted story. I don't know, Kyna, did you see the story and what did you think?
I remember seeing it the first time it came out. Yeah, like Georgie J, right? Like you guys all know about him? No. I remember seeing it and thinking, okay, this sounds weird, like a made up story. But I thought that the second article came out and had more details, right? Like it had said specific locations, like what actually happened. So, but they're saying that that's all false. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
That's what's going on. Yeah, I will say my spidey senses were tingling when I read that first article. I said to myself, being in being around illicit substances every once in a while, you get to see things, and you don't really see a man get kidnapped for that long and then released onto. Wasn't he released onto like a road naked or something like that? Or am I mixing Breaking Bad with this?
Was he tied? Was his hands tied or something like that? But it was like
he was like tied up and money on there was like a single $50 bill on the floorboard of his car.
And he was making like payments to them, like $20K at a time or something. Like sounds like a movie. They should make a movie out of that.
No, 100%. And that's pretty crazy. Crazy stuff. But
this all came to light, they started investigating him with the banks. They had all these transactions that totaled more than $3.9 million, various banks and credit unions. So it looks like he was, getting this money, filtering it through his business somehow, and then some sort of fraud. The story, look, the FBI hasn't come out and said it's bullshit, but that's kind of seems what they're alluding to, but there might be an investigation. There was like a handwritten note. Remember when this happened, when he was first found, that was apparently written to a family member, and there were certain capital letters, and if you took the capital letters from these specific words, it spelled out the word kidnap.
Sure.
Like this is one of those, the truth is stranger than fiction type of things.
Yeah, I guess. Will we ever know? I don't know. Maybe there'll be a third update on it.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we've got all the facts now, and we know that boy's a fraud. Actually, I heard Elon Musk himself went in there and found this fraud. So thank God he's really doing a great job out there.
Did he find the wasteful spending?
He found the wasteful spending. It turns out it's at a car dealership. Shocker.
Oh man.
It's a shame because George Janssen was a name that I was familiar with before all this went down. He was known in that Michigan poker circle. He had 4 WSOP Circuit rings. He won an MSBT title at Venetian, I think, in 2023. So, he's got a decent poker resume, but obviously there was some other stuff going on with his business and personal lives that, really made a splash. So,
yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck is about all you can say, because who knows, when you got the FBI on your tail, it can't end well. So.
No, yeah, those are federal crimes. He's going to be lucky if his butthole doesn't get touched. Anyway.
Touché. Well, that's a good time to thank our sponsor. That is the WSOP.
Yeah.
WSOP free-to-play app. I mean, they like us to plug them within the first little go.
Holy Christ, Chad. They want, okay. The WSOP free-to-play app.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead, keep plugging it.
Let's just show the video.
Yeah.
Winner or loser? Are you a winner or a loser? Take the challenge.
All right, we are back to talk more WSOP news, and that was a controversy brewing out of the circuit stop at Baltimore. Maurice Hawkins, friend of the podcast, he ended up winning the main event over there, the $1,700 main event. Let me see, he took it down for $140,000. He got his 18th ring, which ties him with Ari Engel. Ari Engel had a classy tweet that he put out, saying, good job, this is an intense race. I thought that was great on Ari's part. And look, Maurice can't take it away. He's got 18 rings, but it's kind of overshadowed by the fact that news surfaced after there was a hand reported, three-handed. So basically what happened was Divyem got it all in against Maurice Hawkins. The board ran out in a certain way that it appeared Hawkins made a winning wheel on the river. He did make a wheel, but it wasn't the winning wheel because there ended up being 4 clubs on the board, and Divyem had the only club. And nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. And it's there. It's documented in the hand history from the reporters that were there. There was a little video that you could see the cards, and it wasn't caught until hours later. And at that point, there was really nothing you can do. I don't know. You guys play a lot of poker. Have you seen something like this before? What do you make of this entire situation?
I mean, that sucks. It's like on the onus of the player, though, right? Like, and the dealer should have pointed it out. But like, I think I read some of the comments and somebody said, well, the reporter can't say anything and shouldn't, right? Like, it's not the reporter's job to point out, oh my God, that guy has a flush, but it is the player's responsibility to see that. And if nobody saw it, that just sucks. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, and from a reporter's perspective, yes, we are trained to be like flies on the wall and not to interrupt the gameplay. We're just there to observe and report. Now, there's a debate that has been on social media. Is that right? Is that wrong? I don't know. From somebody who's been live reporting events since 2009, I tend to say stay out of it if you can, unless it's super egregious. Now, this might be one of those situations where it is egregious, but that's also assuming that the reporter noticed, which I don't believe he did in real time until it was pointed out after the fact. And then, like I said, it's hours later. There's nothing you can do. Once that next hand is dealt, you really, you live with it, you move on. And it is unfortunate, as Kyna said, but the onus, yes, the players should notice, the dealer should notice, should all the other players at the table notice. And Mike, I know you want to say something about that.
Yeah, so, okay, I'm a professional poker player. I played a lot of poker. Maurice Hawkins knew that man had a flush 99.9% of the time. I mean, maybe there's some way he didn't, but Maurice has played a lot of poker. He's very smart. He's a good player, and it's unfortunate that things like this continue to follow him and give him such a bad reputation, because he could be someone. You look at Ari Engel. You never hear a bad thing about Ari. Everyone loves Ari. Similar situation, similar career path. One guy has a terrible reputation, and it's for things like this. I mean, don't pay back your backers. Don't be apologetic to anybody. And then for this to happen, like, I don't know. I could never, like, when the cards are on their back, like let's say I have my hand, right? And I call a bet, and on the river I have a flush, and I'm looking at my hand and I don't see I have a flush, and I go to muck it. Nobody else, if they see my hand, should say, hey man, there's 4 clubs. That's not happening. But if all the cards are turned on their backs, I think that a reporter or anyone should be able to say something. At that point, the onus is on everyone.
Yeah. I mean, if I was standing around watching, I would have said something. You know, like if you're standing and you're you're there. But like, yeah, I don't think it. And again, maybe the reporter didn't notice. Maybe he would have said something. I know there was like discrepancies before with chips where commentators have mentioned it.
Sure.
Like that seeing it and like saying that it needed to be fixed, and it does get fixed. You know, if it's on camera, if people can see it. If it's tabled, and you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to go ahead and just think that Maurice did or didn't see it either. You know, like you never know. I'm going to make myself sound stupid, but I've before not seen flushes on the board, like not 4-card flushes, but like 3-card flushes.
The wine consumption difference between Maurice and you during these scenarios.
All right, let's relax.
If I'm sober and we're playing poker and we get it all in and the board runs out, I know the second the turn card comes, I go, okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, club. You know, I know exactly what's going on. He knows too. Everyone knows. If you're a professional poker player,
you're
you play as much as he does. He saw it, and I guarantee you, he kept it to himself. And that's something that a lot of people would do. Even people listening to this right now may say, shit, man, that's fucking $60,000, you know, $40,000, whatever the pay jumps are. I'm not saying anything. And I mean, I guess I can understand where that line of thinking comes from, but for the longevity of the game and in a perfect society, you should absolutely say something. And I know for a fact that me and any of the people I associate or friends with would have said something if that was us.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I 100% agree on that point.
Yeah.
You should say something if you see it.
And even if it's your hand, there's been multiple times where this has happened for me where I've literally, this exact thing's happened and I've turned over my hand and somebody else, and I'm like, no, dude, you have a straight. It happened at WSOP Circuit Maine. I was eliminated because the guy had flopped 2 pair, and when we turned our hands over all on the turn, he didn't even notice. No one noticed. And the river came out and I was like, bro, you have 2 pair, man. You won the hand. And everyone's like, oh shit. So like, I've personally been in this scenario. Obviously, that's for a bit more money. But I know for a fact, like, I think as a man, you have to own up to it. You know what I mean? And if it happens afterwards, like, Maurice Hawkins is going to win that anyway. If the guy went all in and didn't even notice that he had a flush, like, Maurice is going to beat that guy. Maurice is better than that guy. So it doesn't even really matter in the long run. It probably didn't have anything to do with the effect of the actual standings of the tournament. But now we're all going to look at this, and it's another asterisk of a long career of asterisks for Maurice Hawkins.
Yeah. You're not the only one who thought that Chris Birchfield had a social media post that just said, screw it, I'll be the one to say it. We were supposed to believe that the circuit goat had no idea. He really lost this hand. Come on. I'd put it at less than 2%. This is an honest mistake, so on and so forth. Echoed a lot of the same points as you. Look, I think those are good points, but I'm also probably going to do something you won't see me do very often, especially on the show, and that's kind of defend Maurice Hawkins in terms of giving him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he didn't see it. Did he? Maybe, there's an equal chance probably he did. But like, it's one of those, you can't prove it one way or the other. So I tend to lean to just give him the benefit of the doubt, even though it's Maurice Hawkins and, there's no love lost between he and I. But yeah, it's an unfortunate that it's going to mar the whole story. Like, this is the story now, not the victory. It's a shame for the player. I've seen somebody on social media suggest that it would be great for the first and second place winner to, throw the third place winner a little equity, a little money. Like, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
So
just sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah. And, let's talk WSOP summer, because a story that broke was that Fedor Holz, who is a GGPoker guy, he came out and said he basically had a tweet saying that they are going to, if somebody's banned online for using GTO Wizard, because there were 31 players who were recently banned on GGPoker. We don't know who, just 31 accounts were banned because they were caught using GTO Wizard. Fedor is saying, like, those people who get caught are going to also be banned from the live WSOP.
I mean,
again, we don't know who, but
yeah, it's good to hear him make a statement like that, because wasn't he put in charge of some integrity committee within GG? So, I mean, you found these people. Let's do something about it with this committee that we're running. Or is that something I made up, or is that something that's true?
That sounds right, but I don't know. It could have
been. I don't know where, and you didn't make it up, and I just don't know where it stands, right?
Yeah.
So they did have the launch of this integrity council, but Jason Kuhn was a part of that, and then he left GG. So I don't know if that's still a big thing,
I think
but
Fedor
I do
did
know
take over.
Yeah, I thought that's what right. It was. Yeah, so I mean, it would be nice to see, okay, well, we're doing something. We ban these accounts. Let's not just talk about it. Let's see what the other repercussions of this are. GG is now affiliated with WSOP, and that's like a big yucky. Like you can't play the WSOP in the summer. Ugh, you know?
I mean, I've been incredibly vocal about this to WSOP.com that I think the people who've cheated on there should be banned live. I think it's outlandish and beyond outrageous that for years I've had to deal with Ali Imsirovic coming to the WSOP and showing up, and then we all got to stand there like everything's normal. And I'm every time I see him, I'm yelling at him. I'm calling it. I'm literally telling everyone, why are we all not yelling at this guy who stole millions of dollars from us? And he's just allowed to hang out, and it makes a worse experience for everyone that we have to sit around while all these people who cheated us for hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars just get to play. So I'm happy that this is happening, but I'm holding my breath because it's been such a large sentiment from players for years and such a no-brainer thing to do that to wait this long and have this situation and then not release the names as well. Like, do we know what stakes these guys are playing? Like, I don't know, like a bunch of dudes from Brazil get caught doing 10 cent, 20 cent, and then they're banned from the WSOP, like, to save face. Like, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but we live in a sensationalist headline world where the headlines grab and the news ends after that, and all you remember is, oh yeah, people are banned now, we're good. But it's like 32 people. GG has tens, hundreds of thousands of users. People are cheating like rampant on their end, WSOP.com, and I'd like to see them unilaterally ban everyone who is cheating on those websites and make sure that we're competing in a fair environment.
Well, speaking of sensationalist and big headlines, catchy headlines, GGPoker cancels $5 million guaranteed tournament on day 2 after further technical issues. This was a $150 buy-in, GG Masters anniversary, $5 million guaranteed. There was over 20,000 players registered last week, and over 12,000 of them made it to day 2, and that's when they experienced some technical difficulties and postponed the event. And then this past weekend, they tried to get it going again. More difficulties, and they ended up just saying, we're canceling this. I believe they refunded everybody. But still, man, this is, GG's made some positive headlines. We just talked about one. They bought the WSOP, but then you get all these, egg in the face with these events. Mike, as an online guy, like, how frustrating is it when something like this happens?
When something like what happens?
Well, like when you're, they pulled the plug on the tournament.
Cancel the tournament. Sorry, I'm still daydreaming about the last thing. Cheaters. No, that's incredibly frustrating. Unless you got like one big blind, you're about to go out. You know what I mean?
Because or if you busted it all and now you're getting a refund. Like, is that what happened? They just refunded 20,000 people the $150.
Well, I think they did half of the buy-in back. I don't know if it was the remaining people in day 2 or if it was everyone in the tournament, and then the ICM chopped the other half of the money.
Did they though? Like, I mean, that sounds like if they were going to cancel it altogether, it sounds like maybe they lost some like player data on chips and stuff. What did you say, Chad? You said everybody just got refunded. Did they in fact do an ICM chop? I didn't read the article. Sorry.
Let me see. I am going to. Says here in the article, says from those who are standing on day 2 per GGPoker's refund policy, 50% of the buy-in will be refunded to those still standing, and 50% of the prize pool will be paid according to the chip count of the remaining players at the time. So I guess they didn't refund everybody.
Okay.
That was buried there at the end of the article.
One of the big problems is with what happened is that the rest of the tournament, it ends up with a situation, or not a situation, but just how this software glitch happened. A lot of people were playing heads up. A lot of people were playing 9-handed, then some other people were playing heads up, and then other people just popped up at a table, and it arranged them all by how many big blinds they had in order on purpose. And like other people had like a different big blinds at their table than other tables. So like it seemed like they had to cancel it, and their software just that shit broke.
Well, hopefully they can get it together. They need some, positive headlines heading into the 2025 World Series of Poker, but we will have to see, what GGPoker has in store. I want to touch upon some sad news that came out of the Texas poker scene, and that was a player, Mark Toulouse. He's a WSOP Circuit ring winner, former principal/professor up in Canada, retired, moved to Texas, and was really grinding a lot of poker, and he collapsed during a Texas Card House Dallas $300 tournament, and unfortunately didn't survive, suspected heart attack. And sad situation all around for those involved, his family. They were in the money. There was 1,648 runners in this tournament, so they ended up blinding his stack out because they didn't know his status at the time. He ended up finishing in 26th place for $1,475, and obviously very sad. And condolences to his family. But I did see a lot of players say, And I kind of feel this way myself. Like, if I have to go, I would like to do it doing something I love, right? Like going at a poker table doesn't sound like a bad way for me. I don't know how you two feel about it.
I mean, no. No. That's not how I'm trying to die.
Yeah, I probably don't want to die in front of a bunch of people.
Ooh, actually, no. If I get one good joke out, and then croak, that'd actually be totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to get one good joke out, like a belly laugh from the rest of the table, and then I'm like, all right, good night.
It's probably really scary for all the rest of the people, too. Like, I don't know. That's kind of a big trauma to see somebody die in front of you. But we can't control where it happens, I guess.
Yeah, it's a shame. He got some shout outs from Matt Savage. He was a part of the Club WPT stream team. Mark Toulouse was, and by all accounts, a really cool guy. So very sad to see that.
Sad.
Rip.
We're going to get to some giveaways here. I know a lot of the listeners and viewers are tuned in for this Las Vegas book giveaway. But before we do, it's been a little while since we talked to him, and we don't like to go a show or two before mentioning Jeremy Ausmus. You guys texted me.
I knew it. I knew we were going to talk about Jeremy again.
This guy's a fucking villain, man. Someone's got to stop this guy.
Stealing all the money.
No, it's insane. Leave some for the rest of us. Good God.
What do you win? The 25K?
Let's see. So it's the Triton Poker Series. They're over there in Jeju. And Ausmus took down a tournament early on there. It was a 25K. It was let's see. He won it for, scroll down.
1.8 million,
1.825 or something like that. Yeah.
That thing, those events are getting huge over there. That's getting a huge turnout. It's pretty crazy. It's been fun to watch. I watched some of the coverage and it's pretty good. But yeah, insane turnout over there.
No, they're sick tournaments. But let me say this. Jeremy Ausmus, we're coming for you. And by the way, if Jeremy Ausmus ends up locked in a basement for 30 days and he's found up tied on the side of the road, you should believe his story and try to find my whereabouts. I'm just saying.
That event, he won event number 3 of the festival, 391 entries for a 25K. But of those, 163 were re-entries. So you got these people going over there firing multiple bullets. But Jeremy Ausmus taking it down for his first Triton title. Likewise, Sean Winter just took down his first Triton title. It was, I think, his 13th cash in a Triton event, but his first victory.
Oh, let's go. He's one of the GOATs for sure.
Yeah, he was one of those, like, we were doing a list for Poker News earlier on, like, best without a Triton title, and his was near the top. So now he's going to have that removed. A couple of other winners early on from that festival, Anatoly Filatov, Raman Hajiev, Zhao Hongjun, and Fantastic Mr. Fu. I mean, that's what they have him listed as.
That was quite a list for you to get through, Chad.
I'm pretty sure that he owns a noodle place in Vegas.
Mr. Fu. Fantastic
Mr. Fu's. Isn't that a place? Yeah, I think it is.
I think it is too. Let me tune into, so as we're recording this as well, there is the Poker Go Mixed Game Festival is happening at the Poker Go studio in Las Vegas. And I'm not even joking. When we fired up this podcast, I have it on off screen. It was Daniel Negreanu heads up against Nick Schulman for the title in event number 6. And it looks like Daniel Negreanu took this one down for $292,000 because I see my TV is on the, what's it say? Event has ended, Poker Go.
So I watched a lot of that, the Dealer's Choice. It was Dealer's Choice, right? Or was it Mick? AK Mix? Yeah. I don't know how it works, but they had like the first ever Badesi televised. There was like 6,000 people watching Badesi hands, and Daniel Negreanu ran so unbelievably hot to the level like I don't think I've ever seen that before. He had so many of the chips. At one point, it was like Daniel Negreanu 7 million, and every other person had 700K or less, and the limits were, or it was like 600K or less. Nobody had 3 big bets, and Daniel Negreanu had like 60, and it was 7 people at the table. Literally, if anybody wanted to play a hand, they were all in except for Daniel, and he won like every hand in a row for a long time, including a hand. Maybe it wasn't him in the hand. Maybe it was. I think it was Schulman doubled up. There was a hand where similar thing to Maurice Hawkins situation, not really, but similar. The guy draws 2 cards. He gets 2 jacks, and he pitches them for the next one to get 2 new ones. And one of the cards hits a card, and it came back, and he flipped it over, and he got the jack of diamonds again, and no one realized it. And he lost the hand and doubled Nick Schulman up. So I don't know if that affected anything, but you can go back on the broadcast and check it out. Like the guy got the jack of diamonds twice. I saw it myself. So
I've been in poker a long time. You both have as well. There's an old saying, shit happens. Shit does happen in poker like that. Just same thing with the Maurice thing. It's not the first time. It won't be the last. But we'll have an update more on next week's podcast on more Triton winners and Poker Go series winners from the Mixed Game Festival. Let's give away a book.
Yay! Big expensive book. With
$500
complicated contest instructions. Who was able to decipher it?
So the Las Vegas book, very limited edition, very high end, $500 value book. Been teasing it for a while. Shout out to Joris Deckers, who created this book, put it together, and was kind enough to give us this book to give away to our Poker News Podcast listeners. So I have a list here. I'll flash it on screen. And Mike and Kyna, if you would be kind enough, can you, since I'm not there, Mike, can you pull up a random number on your phone? And Kyna, can you film it? So then I'll,
okay.
You send me that video and we'll throw it up. But we want everybody to know that this is all above board.
How many people entered? How many people were able to do it?
I have 59, 58. So 58, 1 through 50. I put 2 through 58 on your thing, Mike, because I have in the first column name. Each of these people are on there twice, right? Because of the way you had to go on YouTube, on both videos. And so it was just, I just was like, you know what? They each did this. It's going to be easier for me to just put them all on there twice. So that's ended up what we're doing.
I can't see it through my phone. Oh, there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Video. Okay. 2 through 58. Go.
I could just screen record, right?
Just do it.
Oh, well.
17.
17. All right.
Yay.
17 it's a username. So Norm's Video Stuff. Norm's Video Stuff. If you're listening, if you're watching, you have won the book. You need to get a hold of me. You can shoot me an email at chat@pokernews.com or hit me up on social media. I'll try to reach out to you on YouTube. If perchance we don't hear from Norm's Video Stuff by next week, we'll draw another winner. But right now, he is the lucky winner of the Las Vegas book.
Sounds like an eBay company or something.
Ooh, interesting. I was thinking it's more of an older gentleman who has an interest in filmography or something. You know what I mean? Maybe he dabbles. He seems like and again, I don't know this guy, but seems like a guy who deserves a book. I don't know.
Sure.
Well, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Maybe I'll get to know him once we make some contact. But I'm excited that we got to give away that book. And, it was one of our bigger giveaways for sure. But not the last, because Kyna, you've hooked a little giveaway up. In fact, you might notice we're all wearing these nice, very comfortable hoodies. Kind of tell us what the next giveaway is going to be all about.
Yeah, so we're all wearing these cool hoodies that we got from Tilted Compass. And Tilted Compass partners with the MSPT, as you can see, to make their gear. But they are a backpack and apparel company. And it's actually a really cool company because what they do is they take donations for old backpacks. And if you donate your old backpack, they give you I don't think it's $20, or they give you something off of one of their new backpacks. And then they refurbish these old backpacks and they donate them to charity. So it's actually a great company. They do a lot,
How old is Tilted Compass?
I think it's fairly new. I don't know, but the backpacks are really poker player friendly. They have USB drives in them. They have lots of pockets. They're very secure. You can't really get in there with somebody can't really stick their hands in there without you noticing. So they've offered to donate a backpack here to us and a sweatshirt. So our giveaway is going to be one of these custom sweatshirts you can pick, I think, and tell them your size, and then one of these cool backpacks that Chad's going to show on screen. So what you have to do to enter this contest is you have to follow Tilted Compass on Twitter and sign up for their newsletter. And then go ahead on this video, comment backpack on this video. And also, I think for the next week, this contest is going to run from whenever this podcast airs to whenever the next one airs. I'm not sure. We'll update you. But they're also giving 25% off on their website if you want to go and buy something at tiltedcompass.com, I believe it is, and use code PokerNews. You'll get 25% off for a week. So
you can. I'm excited. Wearing the hoodie. It's nice. They go to the MSPTs, which now my neck of the woods again, and they have a website, tilted-compass.com. Check it out.
Okay. We'll put a link.
I liked mine so much that I literally wore it before the show like an idiot, even though Both my co-hosts told me not to because I'll spill on it, which I did. That's why there's, for those watching, that's why there's these stains. But I got this Tide to Go thing right before I came here. I put it on there. Now they're a little wet. But I'll say this. I walked down the street and I got catcalled by so many people. They were all looking at me like, damn, that boy looks good in that tilted compass hoodie.
Yours is cool too, because show them the back. Yours
has
like a logo on the back. Just stand up and show. See, like yours says MSPT on the front and then tilted compass on the back. So very cool hoodies. There's lots of different kinds. So yeah, website is what? tilted-compass.com.
Yeah, try to, get one of these. That's show off your muscular physique. Let the ladies see what you got. You know what I mean? 25%
off with code PokerNews. And so, like I said, you could win one of these cool backpacks and a hoodie by entering this giveaway.
And they're legitimately well-made hoodies. Like I put it on and I wore it twice. I didn't wear it once. I'm sorry. I wore it twice this week. Well, whatever, dude. I did it. I like the hoodie. I want more. Tell the Compass your boy needs another one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will lay out more instructions in the article that accompanies this podcast. Go ahead, enter, get signed up, use, what was the code? You can use the code.
PokerNews. Code PokerNews.
Well, there you go. Thank you to Tilted Compass for this. And trust me, they are very nice. So you will want to win one of these backpacks and you go get yourself a hoodie. I want to introduce a new segment. This one is going to be kind of fun. It's something you're going to see more of on the PokerNews podcast. The segment is titled New Vlogs on the Block. And in it, we're going to feature little clips of various vloggers. So if you're a vlogger and you want to get your name out there, your video out there a little bit more, hit us up. We might feature a little teaser of your vlog just to help promote, get the masses out there. And this week, the first ever new vlog on the block is going to be from a former Poker News podcast co-host, my good friend, Jesse Fullen. He started a vlog called Feast or Fold. Ooh. Check it out.
We got the new poker vlogs, fresh and new just for you, not Negreanu. Jesse Fullen here. I've worked in the poker industry for nearly a decade now. You may have seen me at Run Up Reno, working with the Poker News team, or maybe you saw me in Vegas this last summer as a video producer for the World Series of Poker. You may think my favorite experiences would be working with these biggest names in poker, like Dale Negreanu, Phil Hellmuth, Ivy, Moneymaker, but no! The best part was the food! The best steaks, sushi, pizza, burgers, lobsters, all because of these freaking awesome jobs. But this sort of fine dining was only on special occasions. It's just not gonna cut it anymore. I need it all the time. I've found a way to make my dreams come true. It's poker. I can just win all my fancy dinners by gambling. Welcome to Feast or Fold. Let's go all of it. I mean, it's now or never, y'all. I need $200 and there's more than 200 in this pot. Guy on my left is making the call. Yep. He's making it perfect. She is thinking about it. She puts the call in pretty quick too. Okay, let's see what happens.
All right, so Jesse Fullen, Feast or Fold. If he wins big, he eats good. If he loses, he's going to go get that Big Mac or whatever it is. Check it out. It is a fun vlog, and I know he's very passionate about it. And, of course, I miss Jesse here on the Poker News podcast. One last story to talk about. This was a article/video that Poker News put out that our good friend Connor Richards, he got an exclusive interview with Brad Booth. Now, I don't know how familiar you two are with Brad, but that is a name from the poker boom days, the mid to late 2000s. One of the highest stakes players in the world. He was on High Stakes Poker, famously bluffed Phil Ivey. Mike, have you heard this name, Brad Booth, a.k.a. Yukon Brad?
Yeah, of course. He used to play online a bunch, right? And then the High Stakes Poker hand where he bluffed Phil with like 3 deuce or something like that on like a low board and he had kings. Or maybe it was like 3, 6, 7. He went all in a spot that's just so bad. He's crazy. Anyway, he's back. Some guy that was good 20 years ago. Let's go, Brad. Hey. He's not kidnapped anymore, at least. Hey.
I am a fan of the where are they nows, right? And especially somebody in his situation where he was living the high life. He had reached the mountaintop in poker in some regards, and now he's broke. He is in debt. Some people say that he ripped him off, and he said to Connor he's trying to repay this, but he's grinding 1-2, 1-3, 5-5. Yeah.
Oh, so, no way, really? That's actually really interesting.
It's an interesting watch. Like I said, Connor sat down with him. There's also an article, and he didn't have to do this is my thing. Like he could have just disappeared into the ether. It's got to be kind of embarrassing to go from the top of the top to the bottom of the bottom, but he's open and honest about it. And it's just a really interesting read or watch. Wow. And I'm going to show you a little clip to end this. But before we do that, what's coming up for the two of you? Anything special? Kyna, I know it's busy tax time for you.
I'm just pretty busy with work, but my birthday's next week, so that'll be fun. And then
any big plans? What's going on? You got a big dinner? I hope it's not at Lowry's Prime Rib.
No, we're gonna have a dinner party, and then maybe some weekend shenanigans. It's kind of a big birthday for me, but yeah, that's what I've got for now until April. Then I'll probably start playing stuff again in April.
I got a couple things to say. First off, respect to Brad Booth for that. That's pretty sick. I'm excited to check out the Connor Richards Life Outside Poker podcast. And second of all, I do have an apology. I want to formally apologize to Kyna's mother. I missed all your phone calls. First off, I'll call you back later, baby girl. Second off, I didn't mean to say butthole earlier. I'm really sorry about that. I love you. And for
I really
didn't mean
to say.
Yeah, I didn't mean to talk about that guy's butthole like that. I really
Hi,
didn't.
Mom.
Yeah. So anyway, plans for me, I don't know, probably lose a bunch more money in poker until I wither away into existence. And 16 years from now, I'll be doing a Life Outside Poker podcast with Connor Richards telling you about how I'm grinding 1-3 and I got these rings. It's going to be fucking sick. Unless the poker gods decide I can win a flip again. I'm looking at you, poker gods. Help me out.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for this episode. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, give us that 5-star review. We want to be nominated again for Podcast of the Year at the 7th Annual Global Poker Awards. And like I said, we got a little clip, but we'll be back next week. Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you, but check out this clip with Connor Richards, Brad Booth, Life Outside Poker.
I had the money. When I borrowed the money, I had the money. But after I dusted it all off, I still owed him that $30K or whatever it was. And it was in my safe, and I decided to go out and drink pretty hard because I couldn't believe I had just lost all my money online when I just regrinded it back up playing live. So, one sec. So anyways, I woke up the next morning with no passport, and I borrowed some more money that night and lost it all being a degenerate, and I had to own up to Doug that I had screwed up, even though at first I didn't own up. I kind of gave him the runaround, and until finally the runaround I had nowhere to run, so I just had to say, hey Doug, I screwed up. And he was a real gentleman. He said, hey, like, as much as I'd love to lay into you right now because this was ridiculous, shit happens, let's go on a payment plan. And that was very respectful of him, and I have to always appreciate him for the initial aspect of that. And then he'd given me 30 days. Because I said I had to go back up to Canada at that point. I didn't know what to do. I just lost everything, and so I went back up to Canada, and I was trying to figure everything out. Doug was trying to reach me, but my American cell was no longer, and I was on my Canadian cell. And it doesn't matter what day it was, but a little bit before the 30 days he had decided to write that post and things like that, and I have to just live with that. And so that's just the way it is. And now all I could do is try to make right still, and I plan to do so.